The RFS calls itself the world's largest volunteer firefighting organisation. Their words, not mine. It says or claims to have 71,000 members. 56,500 of those are considered to be operational or inactive firefighting roles. But a number of RFS volunteers and former firefighters have come out claiming, and this was to Sky, that those figures are grossly inflated. Now, our investigations reporter Jonathan Lea spoke to them. He joins us now. Some of the guys, Jono, that you spoke to, they were very blunt. And they are basically saying that RFS Command are making things up.
Well, good evening, Stephen. Good evening to everyone at home. Our inbox has been alive with people getting in contact with us, saying that the numbers that the RFS claims to have access to simply aren't accurate. You can call them rubbery. You can say that they are fudged. The truth, from what we're being told, is that the number of volunteers which are available to the Royal Fire Service is far, far fewer than what they would have us believe. The RFS numbers, the volunteers, have dropped from 76 to 71,000. We've been told some 56,000 are listed as active, but others have told us they suspect the true number might be somewhere between 15 and 20,000. And we're actually shown an app. One senior officer or a senior volunteer showed us an app, what's called RFS Active. And this app is used to marshal the troops effectively when there is a crisis. He showed us how many people responded to say that they were available, how many declined and said they couldn't. But the great majority, somewhere between 30 and 40, I believe it was, simply didn't even respond. And what that tells us is that there are an enormous number of dormant members who are a party to these brigades who haven't been taken off the books or can't be taken off the books.
In your report this morning, I note that Rob Rogers, you asked him several times, why don't you want an audit? What was his explanation? I mean, if I was the head of a fire service with some full-time paid members and mostly volunteers, I'd like to know exactly how many people I can rely on.
Well, you would like to know, but I suppose in the world of cynicism that we need to operate in at times, you also need to ask what is gained by not knowing. And no one's given me that answer, but if the RFS force isn't as large as what we would be led to believe, why is that? This is an extract from a man we spoke to, and also the comments from Commissioner Rogers as well. Have a listen to what we've been told.
For the Commissioner, I would remind of an old adage, and that is, the truth will out. And I think it's time he started to look at the true figures, of which nobody really knows about, except the brigade members who know what's happening around their sheds, because they're going to wake up one day and find that they can't man the trucks. Speaking out like me, I could be disciplined.
In the last decade, how many members of your brigade have never turned up?
3/4.
3/4?
Yeah. Some people I haven't, in 12 years, have never met.
How many of those 70,000 are, trained up to date and active and ready to actually respond this summer?
Well, normally we have, I think the numbers, and I'll get it. I'll give it make sure I give an accurate answer. But it's around 45,000 that are trained, ready to go. Now they're doing the operational firefighting side of it. We run on about 45,000 is the active number, we believe.
That's quite extraordinary, Jono. I mean, I was on air in New South Wales for the Black December fires in 2019, and we all saw the damage on South Coast, North Coast. It was just horrendous. My memory is that the RFS then received a massive funding boost. What's happened to that money?
Well, this is it. We've seen that the money which has gone to the RFS has, I suppose, for a better way of saying it, exploded. It was around $300,000 or $400,000 back before Black Saturday. It's now upward of 300 million, now upward of 800 million. In terms of the money that's been given to the RFS, it is huge. Taxpayers have a right to know exactly how many volunteers it has. And one of the things that's been said to us is that what we're seeing is governments, state governments, amassing, in effect, empires of aircraft. and they're being used to respond to blazes rather than doing the required hazard reduction burns first, which are enormously controversial because the smoke, the toxic smoke, lingers over inner city suburbs. So that's one of the areas which people are speaking to us about. Is there a reluctance to do hazard reduction burns as opposed to what looks great on camera, which is bringing in helicopters and aircraft to fight the cause or the outbreak of the blaze? It's something we need to dig down further into, but it certainly plays well on TV when you see the helicopters responding. But the fireys we keep talking to say they want to do more hazard reduction burns. It's not to say that Rob Rogers doesn't want to do it also, but there seems to be a problem here, something which is preventing them doing it. We might be told it's weather. Others are saying that we have more opportunity with warmer weather during winter to do a greater number of hazard reduction burns. So there's an element of rubberiness here, which it's tremendously hard to get through considering the enormous quantums of money which are going to the RFS.
Jonathan Lea, great work again as usual. Thank you very much for your time tonight.